What's good? What's good? I am back. This is Promo Palace LLC vlog 46, and I'm going to title this one Why Internet Radio is So Overrated. Before I get started, let me sip some of my V8. It's like 6 in the morning. Sun should be coming up soon. We're live on TikTok. If you're live on TikTok, follow me. Hit that, or watching me, excuse me, hit that follow. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe. Facebook, hit that like. And Instagram, hit that follow. Don't forget the audio version of my vlogs also goes to my podcast, Paul Pickett Podcast, which can be found on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, Castbox, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and many more. And of course, the podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, or your brand? Check out promopalace.biz. Also, don't forget, if you're a dog lover, animal lover, cat lover, check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. Also, don't forget to check out dizzlebrand.com. I had a flyer. I don't know where my flyer went. But dizzlebrand.com, check them out. Got a bunch of recipes. Dizzle brand is a mixture of cognac, agave tequila, um, orange liquor, mango margarita mix, and lemon. All right, so let me get started with this one. Vlog 46, why internet radio was so overrated. Number one, no one has ever broke an artist on internet radio. Ever. In the history of mankind's existence, has a single artist ever been broke on online radio? So that's the biggest, that no artist has ever been broke on internet radio. You can't name one single artist on the planet that solely used internet radio and internet radio only and broke a song or broke an artist, because it's impossible. And when I get into the other reasons, that'll pretty much explain. So number one, no artist, no single song can be broke on internet radio, and nor have they ever broke a single song on internet radio. Number two, internet radio doesn't really have listeners. Nobody's listening to internet radio stations. They're listening to FM stations. The only time anybody's listened to, like, only stations that get a lot of listeners on internet radio is FM radio stations like Hot 97, Power 105, stations like that, Breakfast Club, stuff like that, you know. This idea that some internet radio station that probably plays 50% on unsigned artists and 50% signed artists is getting a ton of listeners is bogus. First of all, no radio station on the planet that plays 50% unsigned music on their station is getting a ton of listeners. Why is that? Because unsigned artists don't bring listeners to radio. I know it might hurt some of y'all to hear this, but no unsigned artist is bringing listeners to radio. All the mainstream artists are bringing listeners to radio. So we got number one, nobody's ever broke a song on internet radio ever. Number two, internet radio doesn't have a lot of listeners. Number three, internet radio plays are really just plays. That's it. Once again, it goes off number two. Internet radio plays are just plays. They're not listens. It's no different than bots. All it is a radio station streaming 24/7. Every time your song plays on the station, that's counted as a spin. It doesn't mean anybody's ever listened. So, number three, the plays don't really amount to listens. Plays are just plays, you know. Number four, if FM radio isn't breaking new songs by themselves, FM radio can't break a new artist without the helps of online promotion and social media. How the hell do you think an internet radio station is going to do it? I mean, somebody please name to me the internet radio station that's getting millions of listeners. And I don't mean like it's one thing for somebody to click on your radio station and stay on there for, just check it out for 30 seconds and leave. Yeah, that's kind of as a listen, long as the station is streaming in the background. But if they're not staying for minutes and minutes, if they're not staying on your station for 30 minutes listening to music, what are we talking about here? You know? Another reason, number five, there's too many internet radio stations. The internet is oversaturated with internet stations. There's too many of them. There's just too many of them. And all of them are selling plays typically. And who's buying the plays? Not mainstream artists. Mainstream artists ain't buying spins on digital radio. Digital radio needs mainstream artists, like every other station. You know? So, yeah, man, like, there's just too many reasons why internet radio is so overrated. I mean, it's got no real listeners. All the spins are just spins. You can't break a new artist. You can't break a new song. It doesn't even help at all. Like, say you do FM radio, you do social media across the board, and you do digital radio. Digital radio doesn't even assist into breaking an artist. Number six, digital radio charts are only for looks. They're only for perception. Because once again, yeah, you could be getting 1,000 spins on digital radio, but you're not getting 1,000 listeners. Any digital radio station that plays a ton of independent, unsigned artists is not getting a ton of listeners. Once again, like I always say this, if you take a radio station, an FM radio station, like say you take Hot 97, right? And you play nothing but unsigned music for a whole week. They'll be out of business before the week's over, and Power 105 will completely take over the whole market. They will literally be out of business before the week is over. Number one reason is because advertisers will run to Power 105, because that's another thing. Nobody's advertising on internet radio when they don't have listeners. That's another thing. Internet radio is not this big advertising platform because it doesn't have listeners. People are going to want to see how many listeners you get per day and how long do they stay and listen. This idea that a station gets, thousands of viewers only coming in for 30 seconds at a time and they're going to sell ads. Only a complete moron and a jackass and an idiot will buy advertisement on a radio station where everybody only comes to the station for 30 seconds or less, So internet radio is so overrated. I mean, FM radio can't break a new artist without help of online promotion and social media. Why the hell would anybody think internet radio could? Why would anybody think you could take your song to internet radio and break it? Then the plays are just plays. That's it. They're not actual listens from people. It's no different than Spotify playlists that have bots. It's the same thing. It's just for shows, just for looks, it's just for perception. You know. Number 7, nobody's booking a tour off of internet radio spins. Nobody's booking a tour just off of digital radio plays. Stop it. It's not happening. You can't even book a tour. Unless you got a hit record on FM radio, you're not booking a tour. Not as a headliner. You know what I'm saying? This idea that you could actually break an artist, book a tour, like get any kind of real exposure from internet radio is bogus. And how do I know this? Because not to say names and call people out by names, but I know the people that sell the most digital radio spins on the planet. And they clearly will tell you out of their horse's mouth that they just own tons of stations that they play it on, but that nobody's listening to these tons of stations. Once again, this idea that the masses are going to platforms and continuously listening to these platforms when they play tons and tons of unsigned artists is bogus. There's only a small percentage of music listeners that really are digging and searching for unsigned artists, what we call digging in the crates. It's a small percentage of fans. Most music fans want mainstream or popular artists. Most people are not looking for unsigned artists. And that is the main reason why digital radio doesn't have enough listeners, and you can't break an artist, and it doesn't really get you any exposure. It doesn't carry over to any other platforms like social media or anything of that nature because it doesn't have listeners, because it's just too many unsigned artists being played on digital radio. I look at digital radio charts every single week as they hit my inbox. And you got the mainstream on their own charts and the independent on a separate charts. They don't even put independent on the same charts as mainstream. That should tell you something right there. And then, not to mention, they're playing the independent artists with the mainstream. You could only play a small fraction of unsigned artists on radio. I had a radio station before, and I only played unsigned artists. And let me tell you, unsigned artists don't bring listeners. Almost every single listener brought to the station was because of promotion that I paid out of my pocket. That's not how radio works. It's not up to me as a station owner or program director to bring all the listeners. It is the responsibility of the music that's being played. It's the responsibility of the artist's name of the music being played. So your name, it's like the same thing with booking a show. If you can't bring 100 people through the door buying a ticket for like $20 or more, why would anybody book you for a show? You don't even bring a profit to the show. And that's another thing. People think just because they make music that it has value. No! Music without fan base has no value. And that's pretty much what internet radio is. You're playing too much music that has no fan base, that brings no value and no listeners, which brings no advertisers. Internet radio's got to be the most overrated form of promotion for musicians on the planet. The only form of radio that is breaking artists is college radio. Because with college radio, you could do college tours and college shows. Internet radio ain't getting you. Nobody's booking you. Nobody's booking one single artist because they heard them on internet radio. It's never freaking happened. And if it was an artist that was already mainstream headlining tours. No unsigned artist was ever heard on internet radio. So I say, oh my gosh, I got to book this person right now just because I heard the song. First of all, people don't book artists just because they heard your song. Not if they're renting out a club or a venue. They're going to book an artist that's actually going to bring people through a door. And if you're not a household name, you're not bringing squat through the door. Not a zilch, nothing. You know? So, yeah, internet radio is the most overrated form of promotion for artists on the planet. It doesn't bring listeners. Yes, you can get charting on internet radio, but you're going to have to pay, about $1,000 to $2,000 to get high chartings on internet radio. And then you're only paying $1,000, 2,000 artists, $1,000 to $2,000 just to look good. That's all. You're paying it just to look good because you're not going to get not even 1,000 listeners out of internet radio. You might get thousands of spins, but that's it. That's all they are. Spins, not listens. There's a difference between spins and listens. That's why playlisting is so overrated. Because so many playlisters outside of Spotify are using bots. And even Spotify is supposedly using bots. I mean, they're practicing payola. That's another thing. Spotify is such a big hypocrite. They practice payola, And digital radio is that's another thing. It's like when you pay for payola, right, on FM radio, you're paying for an unfair advantage. When you buy spins on digital radio, you have no advantage. But so what? You charted. A few people see that you charted. Oh, it looks good. But you still, if you don't have a YouTube presence, an Instagram presence, a TikTok presence, or a social media presence, online presence, what are we talking about here? If you don't have a blog presence, press release presence, and so many other things that go into this. Even Spotify is not adding you to the top playlist without press, blogs, social media presence. All these other things go into play. So this idea that anybody that thinks internet radio alone can do something for them is dumber than a bag of bricks. Your mom must have dropped you on your head as a kid a bunch of times because you're not going nowhere with internet radio whatsoever. Complete waste of money in my mind. It ain't even opinion. It's a complete waste of money. If you got money to spend on digital radio spins, put it in the YouTube ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, something, TikTok, playlist pitching. At least with playlist pitching, you're actually going to get royalties. That's another thing. With digital radio, you're not going to see no royalties. You're not going to get no royalty payouts. You got to get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of spins. So digital radio ain't paying out $4 per thousand. Stop it. So you can't break an artist. It's not even worth advertising on digital radio. Doesn't bring listeners. The plays are only plays. It's all an illusion, man. It's all an illusion. Internet radio is a complete waste. It does nothing for you. Get you nowhere. You're not going to, I guarantee you could spend thousands of dollars on internet radio, and this is how many fans you come out with. Zero, nada, zilch, zero, So, yeah, I'm not going to stay on this all day, but internet radios is crap. It's horse shit. It's BS. Not breaking an artist. You're not breaking a song. You're not building fans. You're not getting listeners. You're not getting royalties. It's not worth advertising on if you're an advertiser. Yeah, you could chart on digital radio by buying plays that get no listeners, and it's just for looks. I mean, if you're not charting on iTunes or Spotify or FM radio or Billboard or college radio, what are we talking about here? We're talking about most charts past those are just for looks, man. It's just for appearance. It's just what we like to say, just to look, just to look sexy. It's like when you start a YouTube account, you got 0 subscribers. You know, we like to go ahead and just add 1,000 just to look sexy and then go into straight organic. Right after that. I mean, because when you got 0 followers, even when you start advertising, it's a long process of getting to that first 1,000. So it does look sexier when you got something going on, but y'all get caught up in thinking these things that are supposed to they're only for looking sexy or just for looks. Y'all think they're supposed to be for results, and they're not. Anybody that thinks you go on the internet radio and get results, once again, you're dumbing in a bag of bricks. Your mom dropped you on your head a million times as a kid, man. Internet radio is trash. It's garbage. It's for looks. That's it. If some of y'all are in the business of looking good, that's fine. But musicians aren't, musicians' jobs aren't to look good and be a freaking supermodel. Your job is to make music and build fans and get results. But if y'all in the business of getting no results, hey, fine, so be it. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about. But once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. My name is Paul Pickett. This is Vlog 46. Why internet radio is so overrated, and to be honest with you, it's the most overrated, form of so-called online promotion for musicians on the planet. This is the worst. And anything else, buying plays anywhere else is even buying plays on SoundCloud, even if they didn't have listens, has more value than just buying spins on digital radio just to look good on the charts, which doesn't even put you in the mainstream charts. You're just in the independent charts, But yeah, once again, don't forget to go to Promo Palace LLC or promopalace.biz. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that comment. Don't forget the audio version of my podcast. The audio version of my vlog goes to my podcast, the Paul Pickett Podcast. You can Google that, Paul Pickett, PaulPickett podcast. You'll see dozens of platforms, as well as Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, more. Also, don't forget to check out newlitter.com. That's New Litter Apparel. You're a dog lover or cat lover. We got t-shirts, hoodies for y'all dog lovers and cat lovers. Also, check out Dizzle. I got some more bottles on the way. DizzleBrand.com. Check them out. Got a bunch of recipes that you could make different drinks with your Dizzle. And Dizzle is a mixture of cognac, agave tequila, orange liquor, mango mix, and crisp lemon. Once again, my name is Paul Pickett. This is the Promo Palace LLC Vlog 46. And I want to thank you for tuning in. If you're live on TikTok, I want to thank you for watching me live. Please hit the follow. If you actually hit the follow, I'll follow you back. Peace, and I'm out.